The Dubai's crown prince, who goes by the name Fazza, is one of the richest royals in the world, with a personal net worth of $400 million. However, the Dubai royal family is worth much more than that, an estimated $18 billion. Growing up with that kind of wealth, it's no surprise the prince has some extravagant taste. He has everything from amphibious vehicles and his own fleet of luxury tanks to millions of dollars worth of exotic animals, including the most expensive horse and camel in the entire world. From yachts to exciting hobbies, here's how the Royal Prince of Dubai spends his millions. Let's start with where he lives. Of course, the prince, who goes by the title Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed, has plenty of options when it comes to luxury homes. The Dubai family owns plenty of expensive properties around the world, but these are the ones favorited by Fazza. The first is the Royal Palace, because how could anybody not love living in this place? The Zabeel Palace is estimated to be worth as much as $500 million and officially belongs to the ruler of Dubai and Fazza's father, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. These photos are from when the palace was lit up for an array of royal weddings. While the interior has been kept pretty private and visitors are allowed nowhere near the royal home, these shots of another of Dubai's royal palaces give us an idea of just how opulent it is on the inside. In fact, most of Dubai's royal palaces are in the same area, which is basically a large complex of several palaces where most royal family members live. To get away from life in Dubai, the prince has a favorite spot in Vancouver, Canada. He owns a $55 million penthouse at the Fairmont Pacific Rim Hotel. Nice, huh? Originally, Fazza bought just one penthouse in the building for $25 million in 2017. But why buy one when you can have three? But then he quickly bought 3 sub-penthouse units just underneath it, bringing the total investment to $55 million, and reportedly, he paid in cash. Now the luxury penthouse covers 15,000 square feet over the building's top 3 floors. It features all-glass walls for amazing views of the Canadian city's downtown, a loft seating area, a spacious kitchen, an office, and multiple living rooms and lounges. The prince also has ties to another luxurious hotel, but he doesn't just own a penthouse in this one. He owns the whole thing. Zabeel Investments is a private investment company owned by Fazza that owns tons of properties across the United Arab Emirates, including the Hotel Jumeirah Zabeel Saray, located on the famous man-made luxury island of Palm Jumeirah. The Dubai hotel costs $12 billion to construct and has its own indoor and outdoor pools, access to private beaches for its guests, and tons of luxury suites. There are 405 rooms for guests, plus 38 royal residences where the Dubai royals, including Fazza, called a bit of an animal whisperer, a reputation he earned because of all the exotic pets he owns. His collection includes tigers, elephants, lions, and plenty of distinguished peacocks, but there's probably nothing more impressive than his camel, because it's the most expensive camel in the entire world. While searching for the world's greatest camel to add to his collection, just like the rest of us do all the time, the prince picked this one out of 17,000 candidates. He bought the camel for $2.7 million, and it's been a star on his Instagram account ever since. Finally, an Instagram account worth following. While less expensive, Fazza's falcons are also some of his favorite animals. The prince has individual falcons flown into the United Arab Emirates thanks to his falcon dealer, Bryn Close, who provides the prince with falcons exclusively. While we aren't sure exactly how much Fazza spends per falcon, he's expected to own hundreds, and they can win the prince more than $100,000 anytime they win a race or competition. Does ESPN run falcon racing? Check that. Prince Fazza even has another animal that's expected to be the most expensive of its kind. One of his prized show horses reportedly cost the prince $1.8 million, and he's been spotted showing it off at competitions all over the world. The prince is believed to own more than 1,000 horses across the world, and he has at least 120 camels on his farm in Dubai. Rolls-Royce Phantom, worth an estimated $8.2 million. He also has a golden Lamborghini Aventador worth $7.5 million, a Porsche 918 Spyder with a price tag of $5.8 million, and a gold Range Rover Vogue expected to be worth at least $3.2 million. He also has a Lamborghini Veneno Roadster worth $4.5 million. When the car was released in 2014, only 9 were ever produced, and he had the car gold-plated for an unspecified but probably extravagant amount of money. But the most expensive golden vehicle he owns is a Mercedes-AMG G63, worth an astonishing $9.6 million. His other non-golden, how dare he, luxury vehicles aren't really any less impressive. He has an Aston Martin 177 worth $1.9 million that was once thought to be the most expensive car in the world. It gets his name because there are only 77 of these cars in existence. His Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport is another unique addition to his collection. It's got a strange reptilian body, can reach speeds of 250 miles per hour, and it cost the prince $1.7 million. He also has a LaFerrari worth $2.1 million and a sleek Ferrari F12 Berlinetta worth $1.5 million. Okay, enough about the cars. What about his fleet of tanks? Prince Fazza owns an extraordinary collection of luxury tanks. Is that a thing? Yeah, beloved by the rich. They can plow over any terrain, from sand and mud to snow, and they're also military grade and nearly indestructible. The prince has been spotted using them for joyrides in the deserts of Dubai. These ripsaw tanks cost $495,000 for a single-seat model, $545,000 for 2 seats, and $595,000 for 4 seats, in case you were thinking of buying one. Since the prince seems to love to drive in any terrain possible, he's also got quite the collection of amphibious cars. The prince used to be a big fan of the Python, but now he's upgraded to the next best thing, the Panther. Though the Python can reach a record-setting speed on water, about 60 miles per hour, it has an enormous $300,000 price tag. The newer Pythons are even faster, but they're also cheaper and expected to cost $135,000. See, that's affordable. The prince spent $800,000 in total on multiple Panthers to add to his collection to get a head start on the water vehicle trend before they officially hit the market. For a more relaxed time on the sea, Prince Fazza also owns a few luxurious super yachts. One of them is the $70 million Esmeralda, but his most expensive yacht that he bought in 2013 cost $180 million, and it has everything he could possibly need on water, including a gym designed by Usain Bolt, several pools, and a personal spa, and a helicopter landing pad. And of course, the prince also has his own private plane. He uses the Boeing 747-400, which cost about $260 million. The Dubai Royal Air Wing has a fleet of them that can be used by members of the royal family. However, he also likes to fly first class on Emirates, which costs a minimum $600 per hour of flight time. Tickets across the globe can easily exceed $20,000 each. So there's one last question. How has the prince racked up such an impressive personal net worth? Does he really work for his money? Well, of course, there's Zabeel Investments. The private investment company helps keep personal money in the prince's pockets, and the company has invested billions on buildings and construction projects. But obviously, most of the prince's net worth is thanks to his connections as a member of the royal family. While most of Fazza's hobbies are just for fun, he's incredibly talented and takes part in a lot of competitions. He's an award-winning horse rider, semi-professional skydiver, and an accomplished athlete. He's also a talented poet and photographer, and is the founder of the Hamdan International Photography Award. With so many incredible hobbies and millions to spend on them, he doesn't seem to spend much time in the office. But if you were a royal, wouldn't you do the same?
Saudi billionaire Turki bin Abdullah has a $22 million car collection that will make your jaw drop. The uber-wealthy royal never misses an opportunity to show off his gold-plated supercars and luxury cruisers, and he even racked up some hefty parking fines when he was driving his whips around London. The globe-trotting prince is reportedly linked to the House of Saud, which at the time of writing was worth an estimated $1.4 trillion, so the parking fines didn't upset him too much. Here's a look at some of the fabulous gold supercars owned by Turki bin Abdullah. Prepare to be amazed. The most expensive gold car in Turki bin Abdullah's collection is his spectacular Bugatti Veyron. Bugatti Veyrons typically sell for $1.9 million, but when you wrap a Veyron in gold, expect the price to go way, way up. Bin Abdullah's gold-plated Veyron is worth an estimated $10 million, and it always turns heads when he takes it out for a spin. The Veyron might just be the most impressive supercar ever built. Bugatti developed the Veyron completely from scratch, and barely any parts or components from existing car concepts were used in its production. It's the pinnacle of supercar performance. The Veyron can reach a top speed of 408 kilometers per hour and is equipped with an 8.0-liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine. The powerful engine puts out more than 1,000 horsepower and can propel the Veyron from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.5 seconds. Not every car in bin Abdullah's collection is an ultra-fast supercar. If he wants to cruise around in something a little bit more classy, he opts for his gold-plated Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe. The $4 million masterpiece has a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour and can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 6.1 seconds. Sure, it's not particularly fast, but that's not the point of owning a Rolls-Royce. It's about cruising in style and showing off. Bin Abdullah's 18-karat gold-wrapped Rolls-Royce is just as nice inside as it is outside. The luxurious interior of the Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe is decked out in the finest leathers, woods, metals, and fabrics. It really is the finest saloon car on the market. When Bin Abdullah wants to go off-roading, he hops in his Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6. His $2.5 million G63 6x6 looks right at home tearing through the sandy dunes of Saudi Arabia's deserts. Bin Abdullah even posted a video of himself racing alongside a camel in his G63 6x6. With a top speed of 161 kilometers per hour, the camel didn't stand a chance. The AMG was only on the market for 2 years, so even the ones that aren't gold are fairly rare. Bin Abdullah's massive fortune likely came from oil and gas, so it might seem a bit strange that he owns a Porsche 918 Spyder. The limited production mid-engine plug-in hybrid comes equipped with a 6.8 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack that delivers an all-electric range of 19 kilometers. Bin Abdullah's 918 Spyder is not only gold, it's green too. The $1.5 million Marvel is incredibly fast. It has a top speed of 340 kilometers per hour and can go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.6 seconds. What supercar collection would be complete without a Lamborghini? Bin Abdullah's Lamborghini Aventador SV is not quite one of a kind.
Arab Emirates' army, Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, flashes cash in one of the world's flashiest cities. To stand out in the city with the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, you have to do some spending. $15 billion is the bankroll as of the end of 2021, and here are some of the purchases. Cars, 200 of them. He has a bullet and bomb-proof $1.2 million Audi A8 LM and a purple $147,500 Mercedes-Benz A63. In terms of Lamborghinis, he has 7 Gallardos, 13 Huracans, and 21 Aventadors. There's a hefty McLaren section in Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan's garage, 13 P1s, and 24 720Ss. He's got 7 LaFerraris. Whoa. Those go for $1.5 to $7 million apiece. A Koenigsegg Lykan Hypersport, many Mercedes and Paganis, as well as many other models of the aforementioned brands. The grand total estimated value of his total collection? $100 million. $120 million of the United Arab Emirates' second president goes to a private jet, the RS-860 Karori. It seats 5 in an uber-comfortable throne room-type setup in the cabin, and just on the other side of the partition is a California king bed for long naps filled with dreams in Technicolor. Is there more? Well, with these guys, there's always more. Sheikh Khalifa owns the world's largest yacht, the Azam. The 590-foot ultra-sleek vessel costs an estimated $605 million. The construction, operation, and maintenance of this massive private ship by Germany's Lürssen Yachts has created jobs for over 4,000 people. Its impressive size makes it almost comparable to a cruise ship. Sheikh Khalifa occasionally stays at Ascot Place in Windsor Great Park in Britain. He bought it in 1989 for $23.7 million from Mick Flick. You know, the Mercedes-Benz Air. Its 400 acres are surely worth quite a bit more than that now. And the lake, grotto, and estate cottages must be a pleasant change from the sandstorms as well as the hustle and bustle of Dubai. But apparently, the English water was not quite up to royal standards, so he had underground tanks installed and had them filled with the mineral water from the spa town of Evian-les-Bains in the French Alps. Not coincidentally, this is where a great many other Abu Dhabi royals live. Gotta keep up, right? His famous neighbor at Ascot Place, the Queen at Windsor Castle. Oh, you know, the lady on all that Canadian money. His ties to Britain don't end there, with $5 billion of his cash being tied to owning prime English real estate and has over 1,000 tenants. He owns more square feet of living space in London than the Duke of Westminster. You know, Prince George of Cambridge's godfather, that guy. Dubai's VP and Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum has pretty fat pockets himself. One of his biggest expenses, $500 million to his ex-wife Princess Haya of Jordan. Probably spent too much time out falcon hunting. Hope it was worth it. Sheikh Mohammed rolls around in a $250,000 white G63 AMG Mercedes #1, meaning it was the first one off the production line. But that's worth pennies compared to his golden car collection. He's got a $5.8 million gold Porsche 918 Spider, a gold $7.5 million Lamborghini Aventador, a $9.6 million gold Mercedes AMG 63 truck, a $3.2 million gold Land Rover Vogue, a $1.4 gold Godzilla Nissan GTR, which looks like it belongs on a serving tray, a $3.2 million gold Ferrari 360 Modena, an $8.2 million gold Rolls-Royce Phantom drop-head coupe, and the crown jewel, a customized 24-karat Rolls-Royce that looks like it belongs in a Batman film, which costs a whopping $14.2 million. I wonder if racing purist Ettore Bugatti would be spinning in his grave if he saw Sheikh Mohammed's $9.2 million gold Bugatti Veyron. Personally, I prefer his $10 million candy cane red and white Veyron Pegaso edition. Like the Rolling Stones, Sheikh Mohammed loves horses. So much so, he founded the global racing team Godolphin and its highly successful stallion operation Darley. They have farms in Kentucky, England, Ireland, and Australia, and have over 100 racehorses worth well over $8 million, including horse racing Hall of Famer Hartnell. He celebrates his horse racing victories on his $400 million yacht named after his country, Dubai. The world's third largest private yacht at 531 feet has a lobster tank and a disco, perfect for a night of bisque and breakdancing. These Arab billionaires know how to party. But okay, enough about Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's gold. Let's move on. The Emir of Qatar has more money than Queen Elizabeth, with a $2.1 billion fortune. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani rules with absolute monarchy. And while some people treat themselves to Baskin and Robbins when they want to spoil themselves, Qatar's ruler treats himself to listening to Rick Ross's Maybach music in one of his dozen Benz S600 Maybach luxury sedans worth $516,000 apiece. He switches it up with his white $91,400 Lexus LX 570, 3 Bentley Bentegas of $240,000 per unit, and for that show-stopping attention, a $500,000 Bentley Mulsanne limo. Okay, it's only a third of the price of Joe Biden's beast, but it's a lot prettier. When it comes to gift giving, there's generous, and then there's this guy. He gives presents worth more than the Buffalo Sabres NHL franchise. He gave the Turkish president Recep Tayyip Erdogan a $400 million private jet, a Boeing 747-8. Inside, it has a stateroom, a boardroom, and a hospital. It was to confirm Thani's special love for Erdogan. I wonder what the Turkish president got the emir in return. When Busta Rhymes rapped about Arab money, he was probably talking about people like Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani and his $500 million Al Lusail yacht. Look, we like Busta Rhymes, but Busta Bus could barely afford to fill the tank with his $20 million net worth, as this 400-foot, 800-ton sea behemoth is the epitome of opulence. It's only the 33rd largest private vessel in the world. Earlier we saw numero uno, the Azam, but it may be the most luxurious with its European-styled furnishings, wood and leather trims, and extravagant staterooms. The Alauite dynasty king, Mohammed VI, is the current king of Morocco. One of the richest kings in the world with an estimated net worth of $5 billion, His Majesty gets to live in the royal palace in Rabat. Its entrance is fit for a giant, and the king's personal mosque is an ideal place for moments of peace, as well as to take in top-shelf Moroccan architecture. Its classy mausoleum houses a marble casket that holds King Mohammed V, who died in 1961. Even the Pope was pretty impressed, and you've seen where that guy lives. Forbes reported that the palace costs $960,000 a day to operate, including personal expenses, clothing, and automotive repair costs. Yeah, Rolls-Royce and Mercedes S600 W100 repairs don't come cheap, let's be honest. Nicknamed the King of the Poor by his entourage thanks to his efforts to ease the burden of poverty of his people, King Mohammed VI flies to France in his private $600 million plus Boeing 747-400 to his getaway home just around the corner from the Eiffel Tower, which he bought for $94 million. He bought it from the Saudi royal family, whom we'll get to in not very long. Real estate in France's capital goes for an average of $1,345.81 per square foot. So you know, at $94 million, it's a massive mansion. 12 bedrooms, a swimming pool, a games room, a private garden, and private parking round out the purchase. With Paris parking spots costing around 40 grand, it'd be nice to have one in the heart of the City of Light. Although the monarchy was abolished in Egypt in 1953, Nassef Sawiris is an Egyptian billionaire wealthy enough to be pharaoh. With a current net worth of $8.1 billion, he is the second richest man in Africa after Aliko Dangote of Nigeria. With his cash, the Cairo kingpin bought himself a $70 million co-op in the world's priciest city in terms of real estate, New York City. The purchase of 960 Fifth Avenue for that price is the largest deal for a co-op in that city's history, topping David Geffen's $54 million Fifth Avenue purchase in 2012. Now that he lives right next to Macy's, he has 5 fireplaces for Santa to come down, 14 rooms for him to wander through to look for cookies, and a wraparound terrace so he can look down at Central Park and pretend he's watching a live-action version of Friends, or Sex and the City if that's his thing. The details on this family's Cairo property is a very tightly kept secret. He drives a relatively conservative $52,000 2019 Audi Q5. A little boring compared to the other cars we've seen in this video, but he makes up for it with his 240-foot Yala yacht, worth a hefty $80 million. And not just one, but 2 Gulfstream G650 private jets, worth a hefty $70 million apiece. That's more like it. Oh, how nice it would be to be able to sit on a couch while flying to New York City. Nothing like it, really. If you factor in all the wealth of all 15,000 members of Saudi's royal family, you're looking at $1.4 trillion. That crushes the British royal family's $28 billion. When most people talk in the trillions, they're talking about something to do with computer science or the wealth of entire first world nations, not a family. The oil juggernaut's bank accounts are mainly fueled by Saudi Aramco, and a lot of it is spent to keep you looking and keeping your eyes green with envy. Golden tissue boxes are just the tip of the iceberg. Let's start with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He ponied up $450.3 million for Salvator Mundi. That's an original painting by Leonardo da Vinci, by the way. At 3 different times, this painting has belonged to 3 different kings of England. It's nicknamed Jesus Christ, making it an oddly ironic purchase for someone of Muslim descent. Also known as MBS, Mohammed bin Salman paid $300 million for the world's most expensive home, France's Chateau Louis XIV. Royals seem to like to follow the footsteps of royals. In the same way Hollywood kingpin David Geffen set his sights and succeeded in living in movie mogul Jack L. Warner's Beverly Hills mansion, MBS succeeded in living in Louis the Great's castle. It's got a labyrinth like the house in The Shining, a farm, and a veggie garden. It's got a great many statues of a great many French nationals and a real gold statue of Star Wars' C-3PO? Okay. And the gold doesn't stop there. It's all over the house and adorns the massive fountain at the front gate. The number of bedrooms, 10. The amenities, like the pool and indoor cinema with reclining red leather seats, might I add. The wine cellar, all not too bad. But the icing on the cake, it's the moat that surrounds the property that gives it that timeless look of "we got money over here," along with a transparent underwater chamber to boot. You can slip downstairs to marvel at the fish on leather couches as you ponder your next major move. What's next for MBS and the Saudi royal family? Will they wish to buy the moon like George Bailey did in It's a Wonderful Life? If it was for sale, they'd buy it. But when you're that rich, you buy things that aren't for sale. MBS has been trying to buy Manchester United for quite some time and may be on the market to buy Newcastle United from the Premier League. They play, you know that video game, Club Manager, but in real life. What else when the world is not enough? Weddings are another way to burn up some.
And work in 4 different kitchens. One for Arab cuisine, one for continental, one for Asian cuisine, and a 5th for desserts. Guests can relax in the lagoon-shaped pool and watch a movie in the 45-seat cinema that's located in the basement. Of course, the road leading to the palace is named after the man himself, Prince Talal Road. The compound features 3 outdoor pools and a large indoor swimming pool. There are several different buildings on the estate, including a mosque. The other palace I had mentioned before is a 500,000 square foot kingdom resort. It features 3 lakes and gardens and is where he typically entertains his guests. It's kind of like his own personal hotel, at least he uses it like one. At this palace, the prince entertains his most important guests, such as his old pal, Khaldoon al-Mubarak, Bill Gates, parliamentary delegates from around the world, and other VIPs. Kingdom Oasis is still under construction, and it's going to be a 4 million square foot palace. It plans to be a luxury resort that will include a private zoo and a 70,000 square meter lake. Oh, did I mention he bought a castle too? Yep, the castle of Castanito. On the hills of Turin, Italy, the prince bought this house in 2009. And every time he visits Southern Europe, he stays in this artistic house that is situated in a cozy neighborhood in Turin. A house of this size occupies 21,528 square feet of land, which is the equivalent of 173 acres. There are several orchards, vegetable gardens, flower balconies, as well as a vintage greenhouse on the vast property. Al-Walid owns a floating palace as well in the form of an 85.9 meter yacht called Kingdom 5KR. The 65th that bought the world's most expensive home, well, that prince is Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the home is the Chateau Louis XIV. It was purchased for over $300 million. It is based on 17th century French castles, but it was built near Versailles between 2008 and 2011. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is heir to the Saudi throne. If you're lucky enough to get invited, you won't want to miss gawking at the marble statues, a hedged labyrinth set in 57 acres of landscape park, and a gold leaf fountain. Gold is a common theme throughout the lavish palace. The fountains, sound system, lights, and air conditioning are all controlled by his iPhone. The meditation room, or chilling room, where King Solomon of Saudi Arabia loves to hang out. Known as the Saudi ruler's favorite hideaway, the expansive complex is surrounded by 1,500 meters of walls, has its own medical facilities, and is equipped with a state-of-the-art restaurant kitchen. This massive oceanfront compound in Tangier is heavily guarded and manned by more than 30 Moroccan royal guards. It has 2 helipads, multiple buildings, and a massive tent that was added to the retreat over the last year. Back to London we go to visit Sheikh Moza, as he bought 3 adjacent homes in London for $100. This enormous mansion was designed by Decimus Burton, the protege of John Nash, architect of Buckingham Palace. The 33,000 square foot mansion has 13 bedrooms, a spa, heated swimming pool, beauty salon, personal butlers and nanny quarters, a children's floor, games room, powder rooms, massage areas, 2 elevators, and a gymnasium. Kitchen seats are heated in the winter, and in the summer, dramatic lighting creates the illusion of a ballroom in the gardens. A cigar room and wine cave are available for all guests, as well as a huge amount of bedrooms to choose from. An iPad controls the lights, while staff members live in separate quarters in the building. This place is massive, but hey, he has 3 wives who have produced more than 20 children, so a big house is in order. He has a fortune of £1.5 billion, so he can afford it.